If you're an online coach or consultant or course creator and you've ever wondered about defining the outcome of your program, this video is for you. A lot of coaches endlessly struggle with this question of like, what am I going to do for other people? You know, I love health and wealth and relationships and spirituality, and I want to teach people mindset. I want to teach people leadership. And this can be a tricky question to answer, and that's why I put together this comprehensive training to help you do just that. This video is from the archives of an online course that I sell, but I'm pulling it and putting it on YouTube for you because I want you to pick the right coaching outcome that's going to help you make more money and have a lot more confidence and ultimately a lot more fun in your business. This is also part one of a two-part series, and you will get the link to part two as well. In this video, part one, we're going to do a deep dive on choosing the right niche that you should coach in and choosing the outcome that you can truly deliver on for your clients. My name is Brian Elwood. I'm a real estate investor and an online coach, and I'm the author of Nail Your Niche. This is the entire blueprint to building your business the right way so that you can grow to six figures while loving your client, being confident in your outcome, and just having a great time while making a difference in the world. You can get a free ebook copy of Nail Your Niche using the link below. So without further ado, let's get into it.
All right. We are getting into the good stuff. It is time to start working on creating your outcome. And in this particular training, we're going to go over the first couple parts of creating a successful outcome. You see, there's 4 elements that I think make up a just rock solid outcome where you can't go wrong with it. It's going to work in every single way. Here they are. The first one is you should be passionate about the niche. Whatever it is that you are helping someone with, if it's nutrition, then you better be passionate about nutrition. Second, you must be competent in your ability to deliver the outcome, meaning you would also be confident, because confidence really comes from competence. Number 3, your outcome needs to be niched down enough as to not compete. We're going to go into that in a future training, as well as it should be quantifiable and measurable, which is really another way of saying specific, but I like those words better. And so if these are the 4 elements of a successful outcome, in this video, we're going to tackle number 1 and 2. So we're going to define your outcome just up to the point that it meets the criteria of number 1 and number 2. And in the next training, we're going to take what we come up with and make sure it meets the criteria of 3 and 4. So do not worry about number 3 and number 4 yet. We're basically, if you picture like yourself making a clay pot or something like that, in this video, we're going to take the clay and shape and mold it into what we want it to look like. In 3 and 4, we'll actually put the glaze on it, put it in the kiln or whatever that thing's called, and bake the thing so that it's done. Hope you love that analogy. All right, let's go into what I mean first about passionate and competent, and so we can understand what we're talking about. And then together we are going to come up with the outcome in this training that checks those boxes. So I'll ask you, is the outcome that you create for people within a niche that you're currently passionate about? Currently being the key word. So if you catch me going for a walk on the weekend or even just on vacation, sitting by the beach or by the pool or in the mountains, I'm listening to a podcast or I'm reading a book or I'm listening to a book on Audible. It's always about personal development. It's always about business. It's always about marketing, sales, coaching. It's always about messaging. I love books on getting clear on your avatar and your message and really the stuff that I'm teaching you right now. And so that to me is a really good sign that someone's passionate about something. Is there no one's watching me. I'm doing this when I'm by myself or just walking with the baby or the dog, or like no one's making me do it. I'm not doing it for any other reason other than I enjoy learning about those topics. And that's been consistent for me for many years. What is that for you? If I locked you in the library all day, you're by yourself, you're in the biggest library in the world. They have books on every single topic. You've got a big comfy couch. You've got unlimited coffee. No one's distracting you. You just get to sit there and read and learn all day. Now, you might like fiction novels. I like fiction too. I'm always reading a fiction book, but I'm wondering what non-fiction books you would pick up and take over to that comfy couch. That is a sign of what you are currently passionate about right now. Also, the good news is you don't have to be passionate about the outcome you're going to create for people forever. But if you want to be great at this, you do need to have that commitment and that continued interest to keep improving the product that we're going to define in this course. So product creation is actually an iterative process, which means you create it, you sell it to some people, they give you feedback, you go in and improve the product, and you keep rinsing and repeating that cycle. You cannot make a fantastic product without actually testing it. If you think about how companies like software companies, they release version 1.0 of the software and then people use it and then people send in support tickets and they say, hey, it crashed or this or that didn't work, or I wish you had this other feature. And what does the company do? They go in and update it and they roll out an updated version. And they keep doing that over and over infinitely. And it's really a great metaphor for how you should approach your products, especially if you're going to create like a digital course. But even if you're just going to coach one-on-one and you have a curriculum that your clients follow and you've got it all written down on a Google Doc or something, you've got to go in and keep making that better and clearer and more effective for your client. And you only do that through working with people, getting feedback, and going and making the product better. So if you're not that passionate about the niche that you're thinking about having your outcome be within, or if your passion's kind of fading, my prediction is that you'll lose the motivation to really be all in on this product and to continue to improve it and actually make it great. And if you're not going to make great products, what's the point of doing this, in my opinion, right? Because there's plenty of other people that are committed to making great products in the space. And I know you want to make great products. And I'm saying align them with what you love. And that is the secret. It's like Michael Jordan says, the secret to being great at basketball is to fall in love with the game. That quote is so true about sports, business, relationships, whatever it is. Like, you got to love the thing that you're working on, because your persistence, your consistency, your determination to make it great, that's the gasoline in the tank that gets you to the finish line. So I recommend picking an outcome within a niche that you can definitely see yourself being passionate about for at least the next 18 months. Now you might be like, what do you mean by 18 months, Brian? Did you just pull that number out of thin air? Well, actually, the first time I heard that was from Brendan Burchard. He said something about sticking with a niche for 18 months. And I just sort of took him at his word for that and didn't really understand why that time frame made sense. But as I got into coaching and as I started coaching in real estate, and I realized the timeline that it takes to launch and sell and perfect something and automate something, that 18 months was starting to make sense. And I was starting to understand why he probably used that recommendation. So what I mean is that in that amount of time, it's possible for you to create a great product that you've gotten feedback, you've made it better, and then more feedback and made it better and a couple more times. And then it really works for people and it stands on its own, and someone could purchase your course, let's say. The delivery can be highly automated, right? You could have effective ads that are running to a webinar that are selling a course, and then the course is great and it gets results, and you have a community, and maybe you have hired a coach to even deliver on some of the calls for people, or you just to do monthly office hours. That's a model I see a lot. Point being, the thing is pretty automated and it's good. And then once you're at that point, you can move on to your next outcome or product. Can you see how, if you really think about everything it would take to make a great product that really got the result for people on its own too, in an automated way, why 18 months is probably the minimum that you need to be committed to one outcome or one niche. So some people ask, well, what if I'm passionate about something, but it's not what my avatar aspires to achieve? And this is a bit of a tricky situation, right? And what I would ask you, if that's you, is have you chosen the right avatar? And if the answer is yes, have you chosen them at the right stage of their journey? Or are you doing what some people can do? And we talked about this in the avatar module, but are you reaching too far back into that avatar's past? So if I was trying to reach Brian of 10 years ago, that guy just wanted passive income and freedom, working all the time. I wouldn't want to help him achieve that because I'm just not passionate about it anymore. Still have lots of people that will reach out and want real estate coaching. And 9 times out of 10, I refer them to someone else unless they want to be a coach and they just want a little bit of like side help with real estate. I'll do that, but I'm just not. And I tell them I'm really not passionate about it anymore, but I'll help you. But I want to work with you on what I'm passionate about because I'm going to do a better job of that. But me of 5 years ago, I wanted to grow my coaching business. Part of the avatar decision process, which I'll be the first to admit we didn't cover like we should have in the previous module, is deciding their point A. And don't freak out because you may not even need to worry about this if you are passionate about what your avatar wants. But I'm just taking this detour for those of you who are running into this issue. And so your avatar's point A is where they are right now. In other words, what is the exact starting point at which you will come in and help them? This is a concept I learned from an amazing woman named Eleanor Strong, who was my coach. And she really talked about getting clear on this idea of the point A. Like, where are they right now at this very moment? So your avatar exists in different versions based upon where they are today, right? Like your avatar has this journey, right? Not every single person that fits your avatar is at the same starting point. Sometimes one of the things that people can run into is that they're a little more confident to help their avatar in an earlier starting point, but they're more passionate about helping in their avatar in a point that's closer to where they are. So a more evolved version of the avatar that's maybe hit one of those aspirations already. But then there's that intimidation that comes in like, wow, if they're already there, could I really help them? My advice is definitely pick the more advanced version of your avatar that has an aspiration that you're passionate about, and just place your faith in this program to help you come up with an outcome that is still authentic to what you can deliver to that person, so your confidence remains high. I hope that tangent made sense. If it did not, of course, always reach out for help. But if you're not passionate about what your avatar wants, you need to consider either choosing a new avatar or a new starting point for where you enter their life and start helping them. All right, I want to talk about competency now. And as you know, as we've gone over, this is a huge issue in our industry. People are promising things that they cannot deliver on. I think we feel some pressure to inflate our promises, and I've thought about why that happens. And I think it's just because we see it all around us. We see everyone else just making these overblown promises, and all these coaches and experts acting like they're badasses who can do anything for anybody. And it's like copycat syndrome almost. And the funny thing is most of those people are not having success. And you look at the people who are really on top of their game, as I'm about to show you a couple examples, and they're making the specific, like, more entry-level promises. It's really funny. So you should have all of the skills necessary to fulfill on your outcome. There should be no skill gaps between what you create for people, what your outcome says, and what you can actually do. And for many new coaches and experts, this will actually require starting out with an entry-level outcome. By that, I just mean something that's more simple, right? You might have to charge a little less for it or whatever, but that's going to be your ticket to getting a authentic foothold in this industry. This is Alejandro. He's one of my clients. He's the guy in the black t-shirt, and he came to me and he wanted to coach on real estate investing. I had already worked with him a little bit in his real estate endeavors, but he hadn't done a deal yet, right? So he hadn't bought a property and he wanted to be a real estate coach. And I was like, dude, you can't do that. Like you're going to struggle to tell people that you can help them buy an investment property when you're still trying to do it. And he's like, I know. But I want to coach in the real estate investing niche. That's just what I'm really passionate about. And that's what my avatar wants. Everything else was aligned. And so what we did is we looked at his journey and looked at his skills, and he's an engineer and he's really good at like data and spreadsheets and breaking down numbers. And so we looked at what he's done, and he had picked out a couple of really good cash flow markets for rental properties that he was ready to invest in, long distance, meaning like away from where he lived. And he, better than anyone who went through my program, really nailed that process of picking a market. And so that's actually what he decided to go with after we worked together, is he was going to go out and help other people pick their real estate markets to invest in. And it was a beautiful thing that happened because, first of all, it was authentic to what he could deliver on. It was something that he enjoyed. He was passionate about the process of analyzing markets and all the data behind that. And he actually ended up, by niching down, he actually ended up checking off the other boxes that we talked about in outcome, like it being niched down enough so you're not competing with everyone else, because no one else has a course on how to pick a great market. And it's specific, it's measurable. It's like in 30 days, you will have picked your market. So it's really a perfect outcome. And I hope this story just makes some light bulbs go off for you. It's like, oh, okay. So you can break down the larger outcome of I want passive income, I want properties, into the steps. And then one of those steps, that can be your outcome. And there's nothing wrong with that. And you're not going to do it forever. And you're going to get a foothold, and you're going to build your list and build your audience off that and build your everything. And then you'll be able to keep growing from there. Because on the contrary, like let's say you have not had success as an entrepreneur, like a lot of people out there I see, and then you're out telling people that you'll help them become successful entrepreneurs is just crazy. And you're going to struggle to sell that because you will not have confidence. People can detect a lack of conviction in your voice when you do not know what you're talking about and you're overpromising. And if you do sell anyone, which I doubt you will, but you'll struggle to deliver on your promise because you can't do it. And you'll either get refund requests or you'll get bad reviews. And then you're not even going to like your business because of that lack of alignment you feel, that lack of authenticity. So the more I think about this, there's really zero benefit to overpromising, so just don't do it. A lot of coaches and experts who cannot deliver on their outcome just need to dial back what they are promising. So as an example, let's say the first aspiration of your avatar is to make 10K per month with their online business. And let's say you'd love to give them that, but the problem is you're not really confident in your ability to do so. You haven't made 10K per month or whatever, and it's just not an authentic promise. So then what we would do is we would just simply look at the steps that your avatar would need to take to arrive at their ultimate goal of $10,000 per month. So those examples could be things like this. They need to choose their niche. Wink, wink. They need to create their product. They need to build their website, create their email sequence, build their webinar, run paid ads, copy, testimonials, create content, grow their Facebook group, grow their Instagram followers, YouTube subscribers, or grow their email list. All of these are the stepping stones or the building blocks that lead to 10K months. So now we have a bunch of options to choose from. Like if this was you and this was your list, which we're going to create yours in a minute, but just hypothetically pretend this was your list. This is now a list of outcomes that are very specific and they're more entry level. The good thing about entry level promises, guys, is that they are specific by nature. You see what I mean? I mean, I've been coaching for 6 years and I'm helping people choose their niche, right? Some would say it's an entry level promise, but I don't care, right? Because the market needs it and I love it and it works. And so I hope that in some way, this is a bit of a weight off your shoulders, like seeing this breakdown approach to picking your outcome. Because when you have a bunch of options to choose from like this, instead of 10K months, not only does it get more specific, but also you're a lot more likely to have a bunch of confidence in one of those versus that more broad promise. So the interesting thing is that when we get more specific about what you can do, we actually start to check off those boxes of number 3 and 4, of it being niched down, of it being quantifiable. So we're kind of getting into that a little bit, just going deep into what what's your real superpower? You know what I mean? What's your real core competency? It's not really 10K months. It's some piece of that. And if you just help people with that piece, then you're going to be more successful. Your message is going to resonate more. You're going to be more confident. So think about that in terms of any industry, right? Help people get fit. It's just such a broad thing. And it's just an intimidating promise if they need a lot of different things to get fit, like mindset and community and accountability and exercise and all those things. It's just not something that sounds fun to take on. And it's usually not realistic that people can do all of those things. So once you make a list like that, you need to score it in the areas of competence and passion. And that's what we're going to do now for your business. So let's stop talking philosophy for a second here and let's get some work done. So I want you to open your niche scorecard and click the tab labeled steps. So do that right now. And I'm going to hop over to the scorecard to show you what I mean. Okay. So you should be seeing this. And what I want you to do is put the first aspiration that your avatar has. And it can be like the big aspiration, like the 10K month or the improve their relationship or something broad. It's okay. Put it in this box right here. And then I want you to list out all the steps that your avatar will need to take to complete in order to get the outcome, and list out those steps down here. Just replace what I've written with yours. Once you have all those steps listed under here, I want you to score them in the areas of how passionate you are about it and how competent you are that you can deliver it. I mean, confidence, competence, same thing. What is your level of competence and skill in that step? And then in yellow over here, this is going to automatically calculate your scores. So go ahead and do that now and let's see what you come up with. All right. So now take a look at your score totals and what have you learned? I hope you have a clear winner, or at least a couple of clear winners that you can run with that really check the boxes for both. You have a high level of competence in that piece and you have a high level of passion in it. So one big pitfall is that your outcome can feel too small when you start to do this. And I can feel that some of you guys are probably feeling this way. And so I want to address that. Some of you might be saying, like, should I really create my entire product around something like how to grow your email list? Well, this is actually one of the main products that Amy Porterfield sells. And she does $9 million per year in course sales. What is her other product? It's how to launch your online course. Okay, so both of those are fairly entry-level promises. They're very specific, and she's at the top of the game. So are you going to model her, or are you going to model the person that's bugging you in your DMs on Facebook about 10K months, who obviously doesn't even make that much? So one reason that I think we struggle to commit to a simple outcome is just because we know so much. We worry that if we don't reveal how much we know, people won't see the value. And so what happens then is we end up with an unclear marketing message. And I understand just how much you know. That's why I made this course, to help you share your voice. You wouldn't be dying to share your message if you weren't sure that you got a lot in that brain of yours and just in your experience to share. So you get to show how much you know after somebody buys your products. You reveal this all to them in the content, on the coaching calls, etc. But when you sell the product on the front end, the front-facing version of it, your avatar just must be able to see that it solves a specific measurable problem. And I actually linked a fantastic post by Dan Henry, who's a very successful online educator down below that I encourage all of you to read after this video. It's about how your outcome must be quantifiable, and it's going to really prepare you for the upcoming training, where we're going to make your outcome very measurable and very niched down. So congrats. I really hope that you now have a clear idea on what outcome you will be creating for your avatar. And at this stage, just as a quick checklist, your outcome should be what your avatar wants, what you are confident and competent in delivering, and what you're excited about and passionate about. So if you run into any snags, please ask for help. But if you feel great that your outcome qualifies with the above criteria, then it's time to move on to the next training, where we will shape your outcome even further. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next training.
All right, I hope you enjoyed the training, and as promised, here is part 2 of the training on choosing your coaching outcome. In this one, we're gonna dive deep into how to make sure you're niched down enough so you're not just competing in an already saturated market. I think you're gonna love part 2 on how to define your coaching outcome. Check that video out. Thank you guys so much for watching.